Is it true? No one else recommends these games but me? Can't believe nobody else recommends these games except me. I mean, there's gotta be somebody else, right? Right? So it's true. Nobody else recommends these games except me. Maybe some other YouTubers out there, some small YouTubers, but big YouTubers? Well, half big YouTubers out there? No, sir. Maybe I am the only one, almost the only one, that praises these games. Anyway, I made a list today for you guys. I had like 15 to 20 JRPGs that I thought nobody else recommends except me. But I narrowed this list down to 10. So top 10 JRPGs no one recommends but me. Number 10. I guess this is a strategy RPG. I guess the reason why a lot of people do not recommend these games is because most of them are unknown, most of them are more like hidden gems, a lot of them are not mainstream. Well, we'll take a look as we go on. So number 10, Agarest Generations of War. So this game is a strategy RPG, like I said, and it was released for the Xbox 360 and the PS3, but the Xbox 360 version was released in North America and the PS3 version was released in Europe. Both versions were released in Japan. But there isn't any NTSC version of the PS3 version in North America, and there isn't a PAL version of the Xbox 360 version. So I guess this is sort of like an exclusive for each system in each region, except that some years later, back in 2013, there was a worldwide edition for PC. That's right. Anyway, this game was released for pretty much anything, as you can see, and nobody recommends it. Yeah, I know it's a game made by Compile Hard and Idea Factory, and Compile Hard, well, that's a fan service company. Most of their games, if not to say all of their RPGs, are just fan service, because most of them are just fan service done right, and Agarest is no exception. Maybe the reason why nobody else recommends this game except me is because the game is brutally hard. Yes, it is really hard, and not only that, I mean, it's a long game. There's a lot of people out there who really like long games, strategy games, grind fests, hard games, and fan service games. So Agarest, it's a pretty good recommendation. Can't believe nobody else recommends this game with me. I mean, the PS3 is region free, so you can order this version from Europe and play it on your PS3. That is, if you don't want to play on PC or Xbox 360. But come on, I mean, it's not even that expensive. This is like, well, this version here goes for around $20 maybe? Come on, you've got no excuse not to play this game and not to recommend it to others. And maybe to others that, you know, like hard games and long games. And yes, I know Grow Lancer 5 is right there at the back. And I'm not going to talk about that game because that is one of the most heavily recommended games in this channel. And thankfully, I've seen other small YouTubers recommending this game, so I'm going to leave it alone for now. But it's going to stay there in the background so you all guys can see it and play it and start recommending, because this is a masterpiece. Oh yeah. Number 9. Number 9 is a game called, also for the PS3 and the Xbox 360, Enchanted Arms. That's right, it was only released for those two consoles, no PC port or anything of the sort. And you wanna know who did this game? From Software. Yes, sounds familiar? Guys who make Dark Souls, Lost Kingdoms. Yup, Bloodborne. The same people made this game. And guess what? Guess what? Okay, I get it. I get this is not a game that is great. This is, well, I think of it as a hidden gem, but it's not one of the greatest hidden gems for the PS3. It's not. Some people called it a mediocre game, and a lot of people were heavily disappointed by it. But that's no excuse. I mean, everybody can have their own opinion, and I've met people and I've seen people who really enjoy this game, including me, which is why I have recommended this game quite a few times in my channel. I think it's an underrated game, underappreciated game. A lot of unfair criticism went towards it. I mean, it's not the best of the stories. You know, JRPG is not the best of gameplay. It's not the best battle system ever. It's quite a unique battle system, I'll give you that. But come on, you gotta admit, this is not a great game masterpiece, but it's a good game nonetheless. It's pretty decent. So I'm just baffled. No other YouTubers recommend this game. Not even saying, oh, the same thing as I say. You know, it's a good game. Maybe not one of the greatest, but it's still a good game. It's a pretty decent title. And it's an easy game. It's not hard to get into. Once you get the gist of it, which is pretty quickly, you can just enjoy the game, enjoy the experience, and move on to another game. Number 8. Number 8 is a game for the Nintendo DS, and I really can't believe nobody else recommends it. I'm surprised. I mean, it's not popular. It's a hidden gem as well. It's underrated, and it's pretty easy to get into. One of the easiest JRPGs I've played in my life. Technically a good entry for novices or maybe kids as well. And that is Magical Star Sign. So Magical Star Sign is the sequel to another game. It was released for the Game Boy Advance. That game never came out of Japan. So maybe that's one of the reasons nobody recommends that game except me. Also because it's very easy. Also because it's just like an RPG for kids. But come on, I mean, how many kids are out there who really want to get into RPGs and don't know where to start because their asses are getting kicked in Fire Emblem or maybe Agarest, Generations of War? The thing is that it's always a matter of perspective when it comes to games like this. But Magical Star Sign, that's a pretty good title. It's not one of those mediocre games. I mean, it's an RPG for kids, and when I played it, it was like, meh. I don't think so. I mean, it's not one of the greatest Nintendo DS RPGs, but it's definitely there. It's definitely there. It's a good game that I really recommend if you want to get into RPGs. If you have a handheld console, this is a title you just can't miss. I mean, the battle system is so addictive. The characters have a lot of charm. The story, even though it's for kids, it's really fun. The battle system. Just play this game for the battle system. It's a turn-based RPG, and it's really fun. Just listen to me. I know what I'm saying. Magical Star Sign. It's a good game. Everybody should recommend it, and everybody into easy games should play it. Let's just leave it at that. Number 7. Number 7 is a game from an underrated franchise. The first 2 games of that franchise, I don't consider them as hidden gems because they are fairly popular. But the thing is, with those games that a lot of people love those games, a lot of people first play those 2 games, including me, and when this happened, a lot of people disliked it. Why? Let's find out. First of all, the battle system. It changed. That's right. First 2 Art Nelico games are turn-based RPGs in 2D, and then developers decided to change the battle system to an action RPG. You know, very similar actually to the Tales of series, and a lot of people dislike that. So they bashed this great game with criticism. That and also the fact that there's a lot of nonsensical fan service here, but every single Art Nelico game is a fan service game, and that's the whole point of the games. Yes, they are weird and obnoxious and awkward and just sexy in a way that a lot of people, this game just rubs the wrong way to a lot of people. but not to me. I mean, I enjoy these games for what they are, and the first art analytical game that I played was the first one, and then the second one, and then this one, and I still loved it. Maybe because I was already aware that the battle system was different, that the battle system was now action-based, not turn-based, but even if I hadn't known that, I wouldn't have cared because they did it right. In my opinion, they changed the battle system to an action RPG the right way. But maybe that's the reason barely anybody recommends this game. Because I've seen other YouTubers recommending the first two art analytical games, and yes, I mean, not too many YouTubers recommend it because... maybe because of the fan service, I don't know why, but these are fan service games. I mean, that's their whole purpose. And Art Analytical 3 for the PS3, a pretty good game. Underrated. If you like action RPGs, if you like the Tales of series, you're gonna like this game. I'm pretty sure you're gonna like this game. Just keep in mind it's a fan service game, and also keep in mind that the others are turn-based and this is action RPG. But I don't want to repeat myself over and over again. Just play it. It doesn't matter if they change the battle system. It's awesome. Number 7. Here we got yet another strategy RPG. Okay. I think this is the first on the list. Maybe Enchanted Arms could also fit into this category. But this is one of the only games in the list in which I do see why nobody else recommends it. It's called Stella Deus, The Gate of Eternity. PlayStation 2. This game is a strategy RPG, and it was panned, when it first came out, it was panned by critics and gamers alike for two reasons. One, it has one of the worst, and I mean it, worst English voice acting ever in the history of RPGs. I mean it, it's really bad. I mean, some characters are okay, kind of enjoyable, while some others are just atrocious.
Please, don't kill me.
Run for your life! If you want to live, run! Run!
I can't go any farther. Please.
Your life is at stake. How can you just give up? Ignis is right. Apathy is ruining it.
And the worst thing of it all is that you can't switch to Japanese voices. I mean, you just gotta hang in there listening to these terrible voice actors through the entire game. But, I mean, come on. Yes, it's one of the worst, but it's bearable, I believe, to some extent. It's bearable. And it shouldn't really bother you that much. And the other thing is, the other reason why people panned this game was because apparently it is a very mediocre strategy RPG, and it's a total grind fest like many other strategy RPGs. But I mean, they're called strategy RPGs for a reason. Sometimes you don't really have to grind that much. Sometimes you gotta use your brain and strategize to beat the mission, right? I mean, that's the whole point of strategy RPGs. And this game is no exception. Yes, there's a lot of grinding involved, even if you are intelligent as fuck. At some points you won't be able to continue on with this game because your characters will be heavily under level. So yes, there's grinding involved, but not that much. I mean, I didn't grind that much in this game, and I'm serious. It's not like I level up my characters to level 99 in order to beat the game, come on. And it's not that hard either. So it's a decent game. So okay, I get it. I disagree with the criticism towards its alleged mediocrity. The voice acting is terrible, I agree with that. But other than that, it's a pretty good game. I mean, it's not one of the greatest strategy RPGs of all time. Surely it's not, but it's a good game, it's a decent game, and it's made by Atlus. Damn light. There. Not only published by them, no, it was developed by Atlus. I mean, some people helped them, I don't remember the name, but mainly it was developed by Atlus. Pine Grove, that's the name of the company, I believe. Pine Grove, I believe. Regardless, check this game out. I mean, I agree it's one of the... How to say this? It's not a great game, but it's good. It's good. but I can see why nobody else recommends it but me. The next game on this list is digital only. An exclusive for the PSP, as a matter of fact. From a really unknown company. Well, nowadays, a lot of people know that company. It's one of those Idea Factory games. It's a real-time strategy RPG, and it's called Generations of Chaos, Pandoras Reflection. That game is really good. It has one of the most unique and addictive battle systems I've seen in a JRPG. Voice acting is Japanese. That's right. You don't have to bear terrible English voice acting like in Stella Deus. So the problem with this game, I mean, again, there's two reasons why nobody recommends this game with me. First, like I said, it was an exclusive for the system, and to make matters worse, there's just no physical version, at least not in North America, at least not outside Japan. I think there's a physical version in Japan, but outside Japan, digital only. That, and if we add the fact that Idea Factory wasn't that popular back then, and it always has been one of the most underrated and unknown JRPG developers ever. I mean, it pales in comparison to the greatest like Squaresoft or even Atlus or Sega or whatever. But these are the two reasons why maybe this game is really unknown, and it's a hidden gem, really hidden gem, and it's great. So maybe that's kind of the reason why nobody else recommends this game. I mean, it needs more love, certainly, because it really is great. I mean, in comparison with some of the other titles in this list, hell, I dare say it's far greater than all of the titles in this list I've been talking about. I mean, not to downgrade any of them, they're still good games. But Pandoras Reflection is a game that I really enjoyed more, and like I said, it just has this really dark story, that dark plot around it. Sure, there are some cliches, like the sister-brother complex and all that jazz, but has a really good story, interesting story, kind of post-apocalyptic, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the story, and the battle system is just great. I mean, it's highly addictive. So, I mean, I can't believe more people aren't talking about this game, but I can see why. I mean, the reason is pretty clear. Digital only, no physical copy to collect, exclusive for the PSP. I'm not sure if you can play on the Vita. I think you can't. I mean, it's a PSP exclusive, so it has a lot of reasons to be underrated, underappreciated, and very, very unknown. That's maybe why nobody else recommends it but me. Okay, number 4 is yet another PSP game, and this one is even harder, I believe. Yeah, I think this game is harder than Generation of Chaos, not by Idea Factory. And it's a game, this game, I can't believe nobody else recommends this game. Nobody else. This is ridiculous. It's called Etre Union. It was released, as you can see, for the Game Boy Advance and the PSP. The PSP was a port, and I can't believe it. I mean, this is a really good game, great game, probably one of the greatest in this list. I mean, I can't believe it. It was made by Sting Entertainment, a company that made other hidden gems like Riviera, The Promised Land, or Gognir, also for the PSP. And Nights in the Nightmare. I mean, okay, this company makes hidden gems. I mean, I can see the reason why it's unknown. I see the reason why it's a hidden gem, and maybe that's the reason why a lot of people do not recommend it, but seriously, it's one of the best strategy RPGs for the Game Boy Advance and for the PSP as well. It's a great game. I cannot stress this out enough. It's hard. It's a hard game, so be prepared for a good challenge. The battle system, it's not easy to get into, but you practice, you get the gist of it, and then you can finally enjoy it. So it's a great title. It's probably, in my opinion, the best by Department Heaven series made by Sting Entertainment. probably the best I have played by them, and this is a game that I can't believe I'm the only one recommending this game on the internet. I can't. I mean, maybe other small YouTubers, maybe in some forums, I don't know, maybe some reviewers, but no big YouTuber out there. I mean, this game needs more attention. Etre Union, it fucking rocks, man. I'm in it. Number 3, the last 3 on this list. Wow. Can't believe this. If I can't believe I'm the only one recommending Etre Union, this is more unbelievable. Even more. Because it's a Phantasy Star title. Can you believe this? Everybody knows the first Phantasy Star Universe game, right? Came out for PS2, Xbox 360, maybe PC as well, I'm not sure. But back in the day when that game came out, it was a huge hit. I mean, after the Phantasy Star Online games, people were already waiting for a new online game, but that didn't happen. Sega moved on to the PS2, and they released that good game. It's not a great game, but it's good. And it was a total hit. I mean, it was a success. Phantasy Star Universe was a success back then. Sure, time went on, and maybe some people bashed the game. Maybe some purists that never liked the fact that Phantasy Star had a new series of spin-offs, and they were action RPGs and not turn-based RPGs. But the fact remains that Phantasy Star Universe was a hit, was a success, and they quickly released this sequel, Ambition of the Illuminus. The thing is that there was a problem with this game. A lot of people, and I mean a lot of them, thought that this was an online-only game. They thought this didn't have a story mode, an offline story mode, and that you could play this game online only. That was a big problem, and guess what? That's not true. You can play this game, it has an offline story. It's the direct sequel of Phantasy Star Universe, and in my opinion, it's a better game. I mean, the story is better, the cast of characters are better, everything is better in this game. And you can create your own character. If you like customizable characters, you can do that in this game as well. So I don't see any reason why people recommend the first Phantasy Star Universe and not this. I mean, I get it. It says online broadcast only. That confused the heck out of a lot of people. So maybe they shouldn't have put this sign on the game. I don't know, maybe they should have explained that this is yet another offline story mode game. I mean, you could play this online before, but people were just confused. And maybe that's why a lot of people do not recommend this game. And maybe other people refuse to recommend it because they just didn't like the first Phantasy Star Universe. But this is just unbelievable. I mean, there should be more people recommending both Phantasy Star Universe games for the PS2. I'm one of them, and this is a great recommendation. Just like Etre Union, this is an excellent game. Pretty underrated. Okay, my last two. My last two are games that I think they have appeared like 10 times in my videos. There's like 10 or even more videos in which I have talked about them, praised them, and all that jazz. Ever since like a year and a half ago. Spectral Souls. Resurrection of the Ethereal Empire. For the PSP. Okay, really hard game. It's a really frustrating game. It's a grind fest. It's Idea Factory we're talking about. So, anybody who's looking for a really hard experience, for a really great challenge, should check this game out. It's no masterpiece, that's for sure, but back then, 4.5 years ago, this was my favorite PSP RPG. I mean, time went on and I changed, but it is still one of my 5 favorite PSP JRPGs. I mean, it's a great game, heavily underrated, heavily underappreciated, and the story this game has, oh my god, it's really good. I mean, people think nowadays of Idea Factory and they can't get out of their heads the words compile hard. because they've been releasing games for many years together, so a lot of people stopped taking Idea Factory seriously. But back then, it wasn't just fan service. I mean, this game has some fan service, yes, but that's barely any there. I mean, there's a whole big focus on the story itself. And the fact that it's a really hard game, that might have turned off a lot of people down, because the gameplay mechanics, I mean, it's not a bad game at all. The gameplay mechanics are just your everyday tactical RPG with some really original features and some really cool stuff that takes away this game from whatever mediocre strategy RPGs out there. And I mean it. I mean, Spectral Souls, it's a great game. I can't believe I'm the only one. And if I can't believe nobody else recommends this game, my number one, it's even worse. You know, I think a lot of people on the internet know this game because of me and know me because of this game. You saw this coming. Oh yeah, I know you do. It's one of the most heavily recommended games in this channel, and it's one of my personal PS2 JRPGs. You saw this coming, didn't you? Oh yeah. Well, what can I say about this game? I have praised this game thousands of times in this channel. I still can't believe nobody else recommends it. Let me tell you all about it. It's a great strategy RPG, classic style. You move in squares with your characters. You create these great, cool-looking attacks, and then you cast magic on your enemies with area of effect. You know, the usual. It has a lot of new features like capturing monsters to complete a book and then unlock a new story at the end. And it's a game that has 4 different routes, 4 different protagonists, and then you unlock at the end the 5th protagonist. So it's a really complete game, long game, really great experience. I mean, it's a gothic RPG, of course, very, very dark story. Heavily recommended because the mechanics this game has, the story, the art, the music, and guess what? This has a great cast of characters and a great cast of voice actors. I mean, some of the greatest voice actors ever in RPGs are here in this game. So how can other people not recommend this game? I mean, I see flaws in other games in this list that literally make them not recommended by most people, or maybe not. They are not RPGs for everybody. But Eternal Poison is a hard game. I don't think I would recommend this to everybody, but I certainly would recommend this to every single strategy RPG gamer out there. Eternal Poison is a masterpiece. It has everything you need for a great RPG, a great story, great characters, great music, great battle system. Challenge is there, balanced. Like I said, some difficulty spikes here and there, but nothing that can frustrate your entire experience. Graphics are excellent. The art is beautiful. What more do you need? Eternal Poison, YouTubers out there. Big YouTubers out there, what more do you need to start recommending this great RPG? Forget about the others in this list, I get it. But Eternal Poison? Come on. Maybe I'm enough? Maybe this game has gotten enough attention thanks to me? Maybe I made it. Maybe nobody else feels the need to recommend these games because I always do it so passionately and people listen to me. So maybe nobody else needs to recommend them. That's awesome, man! That's awesome! Looks like this channel has achieved its purpose so far. That is some great news out there, oh yeah! Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, big YouTubers that don't bother to recommend these excellent games because I am enough to recommend them. Oh yeah. Now seriously, start recommending these games or I'll fucking kill you!